this awareness is very good for you because it helps you become better. It helps you become a better artist. You can reach there, or you'll reach your own benchmark. But you can't be delusional. This Delulu is not the Salulu in this industry.
It's not.
It's nowhere the Salulu. You cannot. People will tell you what are you doing.
Delulu is not the
Salulu in this industry.
I've never heard this.
What
is it just because I'm so old?
No. I'll tell you. Nowadays, people are saying Delulu is only the Salulu because be delusional and you can almost
and you can get through anything.
Like fake it till you make it.
Cut out the noise. पर यहाँ नहीं चलेगा. यहाँ अगर आपने एक सीन अच्छा नहीं किया, आपके डायरेक्टर के चेहरे पे दिखता है कि तुमने ये सीन अच्छा नहीं किया और ओके नहीं होता है वो टेक तब तक. तो वो जो प्रेशर होता है ना from am I doing okay? Okay, finally it's okay. That pressure you carry yourself.
Prajakta, Kusha, it's so lovely to have you on Now Bingeing.
Thank you for having us.
You know, you two are part of the first generation of digital stars in the country, and I just feel like there's so much you both do. Your creators, your actors, your influencers, your role models, your, of course, social media stars. I feel like you've created new ways of self-expression, of entertainment. So, first of all, big congratulations.
Thank you.
I think it's just wonderful. I want to start by asking that now that you're both sort of actively pursuing careers as actors, is there a contradiction between what you do as creators, as influencers, and what you do as actors? Because obviously, you're putting out a version of yourself in one aspect of it, but acting, you're playing completely other characters. So let's say if the two of you are like thinking about what am I creating for my YouTube channel today or for my social today, is there something you would do or not do because you're pursuing maybe an acting role? Like, is there a contradiction between these things?
Yeah, I think there's a massive contradiction. That's what I believe.
In what way?
In what way? That when we make our characters, at least the ones that I do, they're kind of caricaturish. Like when I do a South Delhi woman or a South Delhi girl, these are extremely loud women, and to put across a point, I'll have exaggerated expressions. I'll take the joke too far. Like we'll really take it too far, and it'll be a little. People will be like, okay, this is a little too much, but we're enjoying this.
Sure.
Because most characters we make, people want to take the piss out of them, or you want to show a very altered and a very exaggerated version of it, which people can relate to, but also can laugh at.
Yeah.
But with films, I feel like whatever I have done, it's a different ball game altogether. First of all, camera acting is a different world completely. You have to know what to do with your hands. Like for the biggest time, I did not know what to do with my hands. Like, and I forgot.
Meaning, kidhar rakho hai?
Kidhar rakhna hai? Like, you know, where do they have to be? Like, body language to be fluid, to be comfortable on screen is a difference. It's a different ball game. At least that's what I thought. Like, I understand why people workshop and why people continuously workshop is to maybe understand like how to be free as a character, as a person on camera. Because the moment you're aware of it is when I think it shows in everything that you do. That for sure. And I think the second thing which I have realized, and I recently was doing a show called Dehati Ladke, and I was working with this director, and he said, you know, until unless you feel it, I don't think it will really show on screen. Unless you know exactly what this character is going through. When we're making characters for social media, and since a lot of it we've made for comedy, it's like we want to get to the joke so quick, so fast. You want to get that first laugh so quick, and then punchlines after punchlines after punchlines. Here, there's more restraint, there's more therav, there is more. You have to really enjoy the pauses also.
Yeah. I also feel like the perspective only changes because I remember being on set for the first time as Dimple and realizing that how am I going to ever play a character that I have not written?
Yeah.
You know, it's made up by someone else, it's someone else's brainchild, and it just comes to you on a platter telling you this is what she looks like, this is what she's going to wear, this is what she's going to say. So it's all just kind of put together, and you're the last person to get involved in the story when you're an actor. Everybody else has done their prep. rep and everybody knows the character so well by the time it comes to you. So I feel like the perspective is only fresh in general, and many perspectives.
Sure.
When we're doing characters by ourselves, I think it's just us. कि मुझे लगता है कि ये ऐसे बोलेगी क्योंकि मुझे लगता है. But when it comes to like a whole team of writers and a direction team that has worked on making someone a character, I feel like there's so much more perspective that comes in, and there's no way to realize this unless you actually go on set. Like nobody could prep you for something like this. Nobody could tell you before you go on set कि अच्छा ये ऐसे होने वाला है. Not unless you get there. So it's very different, but it's very exciting.
Tell me about pursuing this acting career, right? Like you just said, that you have all this freedom, you're creating characters you want, you're writing them as you see fit. Is there a world, and you're both auditioning now actively, you've already done supporting roles in big Bollywood films. Do you like hold back? Do you say to yourself like, okay, I really want to make a joke about this, but maybe I can't because I want a role in that? वो होता है?
Oh.
I hold back immensely. Like I was a very different person. I say like 3 years ago, मैं कुछ भी बोलती थी. I would say whatever came to my mind, and because I am an oversharer, extrovert, so anything that would come to my mind, I would say it, and I would be on my social media. So everybody knew what I was thinking at that point with respect to everything that was happening in the world. I don't think I can do that now in the same manner, considering the consequences that might come with it, and then you become about the things you've said and not about the work you're doing. And that's what I have seen over and over again. Also, if I may say so, it's not the safest place to be a woman on the internet. And when I say safe, I feel like when we do something wrong or when we make a mistake, the criticism we receive is not so much about the mistake, but it immediately goes to
Gender?
Very like specific gender bashing that is usually not the best, and you know, it's all kinds of shaming that maybe women don't deserve. So it becomes so much more about that and very little about actually the work you've done and the amazing content you've made and the content that has made people laugh and everything. So I think every day there's a conscious decision to be more about your work and less about the things you say.
Yeah, I agree to what she said actually. In all honesty, I have always kind of kept a step behind. Like I've always kept a step carefully behind every time it came to speaking up, and unless it was into something that I actively kind of am going through or like want to speak about, like, but it has always been a very conscious decision whenever I've spoken about anything, and even still I feel the pressure. Then I'm like, okay, let's not do this, let's not share this meme, this person follows me, let's not crack this joke. I'm very careful about it. So now I have a close friends list on Instagram that I can share this for.
Is there a difference in the nature of impact, right? Because you both had tremendous impact as digital stars, but is there a difference in the impact when a film is in theatres? Have you felt anything?
I feel like I'll speak only for myself. Tell me what you think. But like I feel like I haven't done enough to see the impact. क्योंकि अब तक जितना किया है उसके बारे में शेयर तो अपने Instagram पे किया है, तो रिप्लाईज तो वहीं पे आ रहे हैं, या पता चल रहा है कि how much everyone is going to watch it or liking it or not liking it through social media, since that's the direct vehicle that we have to understand what we are doing is working or not working. So I don't think I've done enough to kind
really
of gauge if I feel like I need to do more to know better.
Kusha, for you?
I feel influencers and creators and as actors anyway is a little frowned upon.
Why? By who?
I think a lot by the industry also. Like I can't really give you direct examples, but I feel like if someone's done their work in, let's say, acting, if they've been to NST and if they've gone through the grind and if they've been to FTI, they maybe think that this is a very easier route for us to get into films, and maybe we are being hired for our social clout. And these are just facts that are out there, so we must discuss them, we must address and acknowledge them. But at the same time, I feel we've not done enough work. I feel like I have, for example, picked a lot of smaller roles in, let's say, bigger films. My first film was actually Ghost Stories, which was an anthology. My character didn't really have an arc. My character didn't really have any impact on the storyline. But I enjoyed doing it. I will not regret a role like that because it gave me the privilege of being on a set. Just the idea of being on a set, just the idea of understanding how film sets work, what really is a camera angle, what really is blocking, what do they mean by cheat your angle, what do they mean by look
Cheat your eye line.
cheat your eye line. What are these things?
Yeah.
You can't learn these things sitting at home making a reel. We live in a bubble when we're making reels. We have nobody to disappoint except for maybe our audience who maybe not find it funny. On a set, there are 400, 500 people at a given time. Everyone's looking at you. Right now, we have so many people. If I say something stupid, I will carry that burden in my heart that I have failed so many people on the set today. So that, definitely that pressure is really on us. So now having that pressure and picking the kind of roles that you can, not everybody is going to get an opportunity. Like sitting here, I'm telling you that Prajakta as in Mismatch, like that's like anybody would die for an opportunity like that. But she's auditioned her ass to reach that. I know this because I know the people she's auditioned with and everything. It's an opportunity she's got on her own accord, on her own merit. She's earned it. She has the clout for it. The show has worked. 2 seasons have worked. There is a 3rd season that's coming. There is proofs in the pudding.
Yeah.
So let us maybe in future write our own stories. Let us bring our own shows. Maybe we'll be executive producers one day. We are laying the foundation for it. We are trying every single day. Like for me, I feel like the first time I've gained any kind of recognition or maybe decent reviews is in this film Sukhi that I recently did. And for the first time, I got decent reviews. So everyone's pace is going to be different for sure, but we will make an impact slowly and steadily. We will have to earn that confidence as we've done being creators.
Yeah.
My mentor always says, you've given 4, 5, 6 years to be a creator. You'll have to give 10 to maybe in films. And I think we're willing to give that. So there is no urgency, there is no abhi chahiye validation. No, we'll wait.
And it's such a great time to be an actor also, I feel. You know, because all the lines have just gotten so blurry.
Absolutely.
You know, it's no more, you're an OTT actor, you're a TV actor, you're a film actor, you're a theatre actor. The fact that we're at a time where you could everyone from different places comes together and auditions for a role, and the one that goes through is the one that fitted the most. And then that's how the journey starts. It's no longer कि नहीं TV actors को OTT पे क्यों लाना है या creators को social media, like she said कि social media के लिए. It's a lovely time to also learn, and I feel like if we had to become actors and if this transition had to happen, I don't think it could have happened at a better time.
It couldn't have.
Because the not just the audience but also the makers, like we have a more diverse writer room in every show. We have a more diverse set of people directing and telling these stories, and they not only are diverse in the way that they make content, they're diverse in the place that they come from.
Yeah.
So I feel like the whole mix of a team that happens is so exciting.
Yeah. It is, but what you said, Kusha, do you Prajakta also have a sense of this, that there is a little bit of a, for the lack of a better word, a caste system? You know, once upon a time ye tha ki models can't act. That was just a given thing. Or he's a TV star till Shah Rukh happened, right? So what you're talking about, these kind of very archaic ideas about who gets that opportunity and who doesn't, right? Do you sense that right now the new sort of archaic idea is this, that they're digital creators, not sort of, you know, up
Actors.
there with actors? Do you have a sense of that?
Can I be honest?
Of course.
And I don't mean to say this, I don't care.
Good for you.
I really don't, because I know I'm auditioning.
Yeah.
And if you see 2 things that I've gone through, they've come from the 40 things that I auditioned for. I know every week, and you know, this time last year actually, I had the first time I had this phase where I was feeling so lost and so new, because I realized that, oh my god, Now this is a whole new journey I have started, and I'm going to have to deal with my insecurities, and I'm going to have to deal with the ups and downs of this new side of my career at this point as an actor, because I got over it as a creator a few years ago, but now it came back. So this year, around the same time, the same thing happened where I'm auditioning for things. I'm going through like meetings with directors are happening. Everything is going through. कि अभी 10 दिन में shoot है, but no, and which is fine. I get it. So I know how I'm doing the work that I'm doing. So there could be people sitting and saying कि they cast me for my social clout, but I got cast, and I'm doing it, and the show has worked. So I don't care if they think like that.
Yeah.
They can think like that.
But you know, what's admirable is this sort of restarting in another thing, right? Because you have millions of people who follow you, who watch your stuff, who connect with you directly. And then you're in rooms saying, take me, let me audition. How do you navigate that? Is it hard?
So with my acting career, I don't let anyone manage it. I don't let anyone come in the middle of me and the casting director. So whatever opportunities I've gotten, I have maybe made the effort on my own. Or
You've reached out to people?
I've reached out to people. There is nobody, and I have not said, even if there's little screen time, I have taken it up. I have also faced a lot of disappointment from my followers also. Like, you were there for, let's say, 3 minutes, you were there for 2 minutes.
Sure.
What sense does it make? But it makes a lot of sense for me to be in the long run. For example, how I am on a set, how I conduct myself on a set. Was my director happy with the outcome? Those things really matter to me, because those will give me employment opportunities. It's a job.
So you're very clear.
I'm very clear with how I want to approach this. I will ask for work if I want, and I will make the phone call, and I will give 50 auditions if I have to. This is the way it is. It's a different industry. You can't like throw your weight around in this industry. It's not going to happen. So that I will never, I will always make the first effort and go for it. There's so many auditions I have not cleared. Like you only get to know about the opportunities you get, but there's so many auditions.
But
you
ego
just don't
कभी नहीं
get.
आती रास्ते में?
मेरी तो नहीं आती.
Prajakta?
No. And I also feel like because we've been doing this for so long, now we know कि you have to be in your corner. At the end of the day, like, you have to look out for yourself, and if that means that you get up every day and you do what you have to do, like she's saying, there's no other way around it. I mean, the reason, if we even have the guts, if I have the guts to even sit here and say that I don't care if there are stereotypes about why I am in the industry or why I get the roles I get, it's because I know the work that I've put into it, and I'm very confident about that. So unless you put that work, it's not really going to come through. And the reason why I said it's such a good time to be an actor is because your audience is so particular about what they watch. They are very aware of the time that they are spending in what you do, or the money that they're spending in that one subscription for a show that you will do. So they are going to be honest about it, and they will not take your bullshit. So you could, I mean, your ego could get hurt, but what is that going to help? Like, how does that change anything for you? If you have to go for auditions, you have to go. And like she said, it's a whole new universe. So, I mean, we are learning every day. It's exactly why I say that the reason that I don't have more perspective on this, because I have not done as much work. It's so new.
We're also very young. You know, I don't think Prajakta and I had any template to look at while navigating our careers. I maybe had like a Malika Dua, who was truly a pioneer when it comes to female content creation for me on Instagram, and I really only had her to look up to. And now I almost tell creators, you know what, you want to navigate your career, look at the mistakes I've made and do not make them. I said, I have made those mistakes so that you have a more flourishing career. I always have that joke, whoever reaches out to me. Now in already we're a very young subset. Now in this young subset, we're also now the lines are blurring between, let's say, film and creation. Too much is happening, so we'll have to be given some time. Maybe we're a case study 30 years down the line. Not so soon. Not so soon for sure. Also, it's also about gumption, right? You can take two routes. Like there is gumption. Like you can take a Bhuvan Bam or Sumukhi Suresh route, where they write their own shows, they produce their own shows. They take that time. Bhuvan took that time out. 1 or 2 years. Sumukhi took that time out. She made her own short film, I remember. So like those decisions, if you think you have the gumption, if you think you can pull it off, take those decisions. I have chosen to not take that route because maybe I don't have the gumption yet, and maybe I will have it now, considering I have been on sets. I understand how this works, and maybe I'll be more empowered to make that choice. But we've got to make those mistakes and make those missteps to be able to take that one step that just hits right. I mean, I look at someone like an Harman Baweja, right?
Yeah. Incredible.
Yeah.
What a reinvention.
What a reinvention.
Yeah.
So I feel like everybody will get their chance and get their spot in due course, right?
Yeah. 100%.
Yeah. And I believe in that. I feel like that is a better way of living, because somewhere in the middle, life also has to be lived. You cannot always be like, oh my God, what's the next opportunity?
And I love that you said that, because I also remember when I started following Kusha, I think she was on an interview somewhere where she was talking about someone had asked, we were on a panel together, I think, where she said, she's like, why does everybody look at me and say things like, oh, you were doing a 9 to 5 before and then now you're doing this. And she's like, and I loved how she said that, but at that time it was providing for me and I loved doing that job, and that kind of got me to where I am. So at this point, I love the fact that there's no pressure of, say, a shelf life. There's no pressure of, say, कि अच्छा नहीं, अब तक अगर नहीं किया तो नहीं होगा. It's not there.
Correct.
या फिर itni jaldi mat karo, give it some time. Like there are no rules. I like the fact that at this point, if you're a creator, and you could be on either sides of the spectrum, you could be digitally a creator, you could be a writer, you could be an author, you could be whatever it is. As long as you're a creator, the sense of time just kind of becomes infinite for you, because there's so much content being made, and more than that, there's so much content being consumed. There's a reason why India is the biggest digital market, and everybody's looking at us and everybody's coming to us, because for once, the fact that we are so many of us is kind of working.
It's working in our favor.
It is working. And maybe I'll realize my true potential as an actor at 45. When I've gone through enough heartbreaks and world crisis, so that I'll have grown more as an actor, and I'll have more pain and more depth to show and less to show.
More therav.
Do you guys ever have a moment, because you already have these giant communities, right? You already have these giant fan followings. So do you ever have that moment when, like, let's say you don't get the role, right? You audition, your heart is on it, but nahi hota hai. So do you do like revenge reels or something, like, I'll show you, I have my own kingdom anyway? वो कभी नहीं होता?
No. Revenge reel and all. देख लेंगे वो.
I don't mean specifically at those people. I mean just to get a sense of the narrative you completely control.
I mean, that I feel like there's a lot of sense of security that comes from knowing that there is a safety net.
Yes.
Where my bills will still get paid.
Yeah.
Where I still have a job that I'm going to. Where I don't have to spend all my energy in sitting at home and just waiting कि अच्छा when will that phone
that
call
text to
come and when will the text come, or did I get it, did I not get it. I feel that I feel that's privilege, because I have something that is a working machinery for me that kind of keeps going at my expense. Not my expense, what is the right word for it? At my speed, like how I want to run it, at my pace.
You're directing it.
Yeah. So there's definitely that sense of security that comes, and I feel so happy to be in that position, because जैसे कई बारी ना ये बातें होती हैं कि Prajakta, it's a great role, but पैसे नहीं हैं ज़्यादा. So if I was in a position where I had to do it for the work and also for the money, I would have gone with a different, but the fact that I have something that that acts as a safety net for me, I can actually even take these risks every now and then and be like, कोई बात नहीं, try कर लेते, it's okay, at least मतलब. So that ऐसे बहुत सारी चीजें आती हैं दिमाग में.
You're in a position of choice.
Of choice, like you get the freedom of choice because of
which is amazing.
The careers that
especially
our communities
so early
have given
on.
us. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Because that's the problem. When you begin, there is no choice. You have to do what
and
comes
there's
your
no
way.
money also.
There's no.
Yeah, I can't sustain on the money I make.
As an actor.
Through all the fiction projects. I mean, I of course I can survive, but that's not. I will not be hitting my targets. I will not be able to pay salaries. So that's there for sure. She's right there. We actually take huge pay cuts, because there is. I mean, I don't know about we, but I take huge pay cuts for, like, let's do a fiction project, because there's only so much money there. Which is the reason she's right. There's always something
to fall back
this,
on.
this career I'm never going to let go of. You know, there is always that question, now creator, actor, and I'm like, no, both.
Exactly.
Because actors
we're
are
in-
also making reels.
Yeah, and we're in a position where we don't need to choose anymore.
Yeah.
You don't have to be कि अच्छा ये छोड़ना पड़ेगा because अभी full time acting क्यों भैया नहीं दोनों कर सकते हैं.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And
Absolutely.
about that revenge thing, my biggest curse in life is hyper awareness. I'm too aware, and I have too much of an objective opinion. I had auditioned for this anthology, Feels Like Love.
Feels like ishq.
Feels Like Ishq. And there was a short story interview, which I think was the best story. And Zayn did that.
Yeah.
And I auditioned for it, okay? And I think I was shortlisted, but I didn't get it, obviously. Then I saw Zayn in it. I don't think anybody could have done that better than her. She was so brilliant. I was nowhere close to her in the audition. So when you know that, because we're also people who make content for a large audience.
Yeah.
We know what works, what doesn't work. We know when one of our videos is not performed well. We know for the exact reasons why, and then we try to rectify it. So when you are kind of like the writer, director, producer of your own content, you can see what works better.
Yeah.
If I was the producer, I wouldn't have picked myself because Zayn did such a fantastic job in it. So of course you can reach there. You can be a better actor. You can take help. All of that can happen. But you can see कि कौन क्या काम कर रहा है और कौन अच्छा काम कर रहा है.
Yeah, that is true.
जैसे शिवानी बेदी हैं जो she's
I'm
been
such a huge
she's been
fan.
appreciated so much for thank you for coming. जब मैं उनके साथ reels बनाती थी IDVA में मुझे तब से पता है कि वो हमारे lot में से best actor हैं.
Right.
I know that. So this awareness is very good for you because it helps you become better. It helps you become a better artist. You can reach there, or you'll reach your own benchmark. But you can't be delusional. This Delulu is not the Salulu in this industry.
Yeah, it's not.
It's nowhere the Salulu. You cannot. People will tell you what
I
are
love
you
that.
doing.
Delulu is not the
Salulu in this industry.
I've never heard this.
What
is
are you
it just
saying?
because I'm so old?
No. I'll tell you. Nowadays, people are saying Delulu is only the Salulu because be delusional and you can almost
and you can get through anything.
Like fake it till you make it.
Cut out the noise. पर यहाँ नहीं चलेगा. यहाँ अगर आपने एक सीन अच्छा नहीं किया, आपके डायरेक्टर के चेहरे पे दिखता है कि तुमने ये सीन अच्छा नहीं किया और ओके नहीं होता है वो टेक तब तक. तो वो जो प्रेशर होता है ना from am I doing okay? Okay, finally it's okay. That pressure you carry yourself.
And we are so used to an honest feedback. Honestly, nobody holds back when giving us feedback on our content online. And the fact that
in fact, you might want to suggest ki hold back.
And we've been doing it, putting ourselves out there for so long. That it works so well in a setting like this where we are like you said, you're right, I didn't think of it like that, but you're so aware. you know कि कैसा है, क्या है, क्या चलेगा, क्या नहीं चलेगा,
Yeah. But tell me about your creative processes. Like you said, you're both director, producer, writer. मतलब you're like your own ecosystem, your own planetary system creating all this amazing content. So what is the discipline of that? Do you write every day? Like how do you, you talked about targets. What are the targets for yourselves as creators?
I lose myself sometimes when we're doing both creating and acting because these are two very demanding careers, and especially if you've gone on long shoots. But like if I don't create for let's say 2 weeks, I feel really khokla as a person. I feel like I'm not utilizing myself because I'm not a performer, I'm a writer first. I worked as a writer for 7-8 years, so I have a discipline of writing. We had to give 3-4 articles in a day to like the website I was working with, the digital wing of Times of India. And if it almost comes as a lightning, like it's like a bolt of lightning. Surge of energy. Likhna hai.
It comes out of you.
If I'll not spend that time writing, nahi ho payega. That's the reason like I shifted to doing rants also because there was so much writing that was still there in me. A lot of other creative people also tell me you're wasting your writing. There's only so much writing in a person and you should do it for longer fiction projects. But I am also like so accustomed to writing for let's say short form content and for getting that instant validation that now my brain has a process that I will write something and then I have to shoot it. But that writing can come anywhere. I'm sitting on a flight, I'm getting my makeup done. I will keep writing it, I will keep checking jokes, I'll ask my team, what do you think about this? Are you laughing? I'll hear if they're laughing or not. I can tell, people give very honest reactions, and especially with comedy, if it's not landing, it's not landing.
Yeah.
I've failed also so many times. So for me, I have to consistently create. Some days it will hit, some days it won't. And then one day you'll have that one reel where people will really be with you. They'll really like laugh on every single joke you've made. So I have to, even
Like
on
it's
sets,
every day,
yeah,
almost.
even almost like right now I'm shooting, I'm on a long sked. I have made content every alternate day, and it's going to be like that, I think, for me.
For you?
That's mad. That's mad. I really want to get here. This is what I'm looking at, honestly,
Yeah,
because
yeah.
we were just talking about this. The one thing that I can't get myself to do with my writing is the discipline. Like I'm trying. Like we were just talking about it. That the one thing I've been able to get myself to do is just sit down to write.
Yeah.
Will I write? I don't know. Will anything come out of it? I don't know.
there.
But just sitting down, that's my first step towards it. In fact, the video that you've recently posted, the rant that you've recently posted, you're wearing like a off-whitish kurta, beige kurta, and you're sitting on your table. And what was that about? I just watched it.
Is it the single one?
Correct. The single one, ki jo do type ke single hai.
Haan.
And you know, when you watch something that is made like that, now rants is something that comes on your explore feed very often, but you can always tell the difference between one that has been written and one that has been performed while recording. One thing I've always noticed about Kusha, and I've tried to kind of also try doing that, is I was so used to not writing my content till it stopped working.
You just improvise.
Yeah, and I realized, why has it stopped working? It stopped working because like we discussed, I stopped getting fresher perspective. I was shooting with the same team. I was shooting in the same studio. I didn't have a world I was looking at to kind of understand. And that's where I think doing this exercise is what should be my process now, going forward. Where just like sitting down and writing. So I'm trying to do that. At this point, there's no process. It's chaotic. It's very, very all
Also,
over
I feel
the
there
place.
is more acceptance for Prajakta as an actor right now. I genuinely feel that, because even when I watched Mismatched, I feel like the larger audience has accepted her as an actor. So I'm not suggesting anything to her. From here on, if she just wants to do fiction projects even more, I would say in a very assertive and that I am an actor manner, I feel like she really can do it.
Yeah.
I feel like I have not had that acceptance yet. Maybe one with Sukhi, I've had some. And I feel like maybe once I'll reach there, maybe I don't feel the need to create as much. But right now, I don't think I'm there. And that honesty is very clear to me. I genuinely feel like Bhuvan, Prajakta and Sumukhi. Like these are the three names that instantly come to my mind. Who have really, I feel like, bridged that gap. Because there's also results for it, right? All three of their shows have worked.
Yeah.
So now from here on, if they want to like think bigger, have a writer's room, like they can commission shows, they can literally like ask people to like come in with their ideas and meet people every day. Because I think more shows need to come out of our world to be able to like really, you know, that prove that point also.
Add more credibility
Add
to
more
the work.
credibility.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
See, मेरा तो ये मानना है कि एक बस्ती थी, ओके, देयर इज दिस फिल्म इंडस्ट्री की बस्ती, और यहाँ पे क्योंकि इस बस्ती में गेट्स बड़े हैं और आसान नहीं है अंदर आना, तो ये बस्ती अपने आप बन गई, हम लोगों की क्रिएटर्स की बस्ती. अब सडनली ना गेट का छोटा वाला गेट थोड़ा थोड़ा खुल रहा है. So it will take a long time for these busties to really merge, and maybe they'll never truly merge. And maybe the credibility is in that. Maybe we always need to be from different worlds, so that when somebody from this world does something really good, everyone like sits up and notices, okay,
Like for
they're not
example-
from us and they're still doing good.
Yeah, like for example, TVF is such a great example of that.
Yes.
How they started with, अच्छा चलो YouTube पे 5 मिनट के वो करेंगे, फिर उस YouTube पे 3 एपिसोड के शोज करेंगे, फिर YouTube और हमारे ऐप पे 6 एपिसोड के शोज करेंगे. अब इस एक प्लेटफॉर्म पे, उस एक प्लेटफॉर्म पे, and I just, it has just that the universe that TVF has kind of
expanded.
created has made so much space. मतलब वो हो गया है कि हटो हटो, you know, वो हो गया है.
Everything.
So I just feel like कि it'll take some time, like she said, for the credibility to come through, but there's no other way than to get up every day and show up at work.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
हमें बहुत मेहनत करनी पड़ेगी. That's the bottom line.
For
बहुत
everyone.
ज़्यादा मेहनत.
Yeah.
For everyone, Kusha. I don't think we're at that point where it's easy now
No.
for anyone.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, I think no matter who you are, It's all
Yeah.
about what you bring to the table.
Yeah. And a lot of the credit of that for that goes to our audience. I am
Yeah.
so happy.
Yeah.
I am so happy when you see an audience reaction to a good piece of content.
Yeah,
And when I say good piece of content, obviously that's subjective. Everyone likes different
Sure.
things. But collectively, जब आप देखते हो ना कि there's a piece of like Kala Pani, Mansi, she's a very close friend of mine. She's working on Kala Pani. That show has come out, and you see the people that worked on that show, and you're just like, yes. Thank you, not only to the people who came together, but the people who watched it. Because
Yeah.
the validation doesn't come through. You could have the best people coming through, but unless you have an audience that kind of is open to content that is multi-layered and dark and complex like that, it's not going to work. So
Yeah.
I was so proud that this got consumed in our country.
Yeah, and looks like it wasn't an easy show to make.
Not at all.
I mean, looking,
at all.
I can tell, oh, ये तो मुश्किल होगा show
बहुत
बनाना.
मुश्किल ना, लिखने से लेके बनने से लेके निकलने तक ये
Execution
सारा ही
कितना
सब
tough
कुछ.
होगा.
Yeah. Yeah.
But we have those creators and we have people who are gutsy enough to tell these stories, so it's amazing.
No, it's a very exciting time
Yeah.
for audiences as
Yeah.
well.
And
You know?
storytelling is king, genuinely. Like,
Yeah.
it's the story that's like really capturing people's minds and hearts. If the story is good, they are with you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, something like a scoop working, for instance. I was hooked, you know, I was hooked till the end.
Yeah.
And what a fantastic time for Karishma.
Yeah.
I mean, wow, she's won awards. It's exciting.
It
Yeah.
is. It's
I-
inspiring too.
Yeah, I feel
Right?
like the full, like the power dynamics of things have changed. It's
Changed.
disruptive.
Yeah.
And this is what creators love.
Yeah.
We love disruption, and it doesn't matter if we are creating that disruption.
Correct.
Yeah.
हो रहा है.
हाँ, हो रहा है, मजे आ रहे हैं. No, that's true, right?
is true,
We
it is
love
true.
to sit on the, oh, ये हो रहा है, interesting. Oh, ये video चल गई. Interesting. Like, we love the fact that this year's top meme was, Uncle ji, पानी पिला दीजिए, मेरा गला सूख रहा है. Can you believe this was one of the top viral trends of this year? You know which I'm not.
Yeah, Uncle Ji. Yeah, I don't know. The one who's running.
We'll
with
be
the-
just, हाँ, I mean, we'll just be sitting here. Kya? What?
Like Yashraj's career.
Oh
Right?
man.
Right.
Yeah.
During the lockdown, what Yashraj started
What a
doing has
breakthrough.
become a movement.
Absolutely.
Everybody's doing it.
Yeah.
Who would have thought?
Yeah.
Who would have thought? Ankush's career. I was
Yeah.
talking to Ankush about it the other day. मैंने कहा, तूने सोचा था कभी कि तू इतने बड़े-बड़े shows के 2 seasons बनाएगा about makeup? I said, had you thought about this? No. So the fact, you know, everybody says this to me, कि यार, what gets you out of bed every morning? What is it? You know, you've been doing this for almost 9 years now. How have you been doing it? I said, because not one day is like another.
Yeah.
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 Not one day is like another. She's doing this today and then she's going to go and live a completely different life for the next 2 months because she's shooting something else. And that's not going to be anything like this.
Correct.
So it's so exciting. Our jobs are so like,
Yeah.
कि आज ये, आज ये. So that's where I think the disruption comes
Yeah.
in. कि मतलब-
But of course, the not so happy side is the negativity, right? Is the trolling, is all the you talked about being a woman on the internet, all the rubbish that comes at
Yeah.
you because you're a woman on the internet. You said something very interesting, Kusha. You said you, of course, deal with it with therapy, but you also give yourself a limited amount of time.
Yeah.
हाँ कि इतने दिन मैं दे रही हूँ, I'm gonna fret and then I'm gonna get past it.
Yeah.
I was like, this is amazing. How does that work and what do you actually do?
Can I add another thing she had said which kind of helped me also?
Huh.
And I've said that in a lot of interviews. She also said that if someone's having a bad day and they're coming and shitting on my content, it's not my labor to make them feel better.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And that has stuck with me so much, and that has kind of simplified so many things in my head when it comes to dealing
Yeah.
with shows.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My therapist said it, that if someone's coming and like throwing their garbage on you, it's their garbage.
Yeah.
It's not yours.
Yeah.
But these are also words.
But what is
don't do
These are also words. I've had a very tough year. Okay, honestly, this has been one of the toughest years. But it's also been a year where I've reached out actively for help. I've asked like friends, I've asked industry mentors, who I consider like will give me like great advice, and everyone's told me, just let it slide off you. Just let this slide off you. कुछ तो लोग कहेंगे, लोगों का काम है कहना, and many versions of it.
Yeah.
But how it works is that I don't think that not feeling bad about things works. That's just like you're just brushing things under the carpet.
You're pretending.
Then one day on set you're going to behave really badly and people will be like, this is not a good person. So no,
very
you're
difficult
to work with. So you need to give yourself those pockets of, let's say,
Yeah.
disappointment, rage,
Yeah.
despair, because I feel like if you're going through something, you are going through it. So you need to allot
So you
that
acknowledge
time.
it.
Yeah. Like today also, before coming here, I had a bunch of like fails, and I'm like, I have to feel this way, and then once I'll be on set and I'm going to be fine, it's going to be okay. So I feel like I do not deprive myself from feeling bad. I feel like that's very, very toxic. If I am sad, I am sad. I can, ये positivity का ये जो juice है ना, ये मैं इतना नहीं पी सकती हूँ. मैं एक हद तक पी सकती हूँ because I've worked really hard to be positive in life now, and
Yeah.
some people are not wired to be positive, and artists are not supposed to be positive. There are very few artists who are very, very positive.
Cheery all the
This
time.
one, this is you know, I used to watch her workout stories, and it's like, यार प्राजक्ता workout क्यों कर रही है यार? Why is she working out यार? This is मुझे भी करना. And you know, you look at the people you follow, and when they're working on, and now this year I have started doing the same. I work out and I instantly want to post it to my Instagram because people give me such amazing feedback on it. They're like, oh, you're working out, we're also working on it. And then they're like, your workout videos not come. So I feel like I have found that very nice balance of a little bit of peace and a little bit of chaos, of a little bit of Delhi and a little bit of Mumbai. Of a little bit of crying and a little bit of laughing. And I think life is somewhere in the middle only.
Yeah.
It can't be full this, full that.
No,
100.
and it
Yeah,
shouldn't.
yeah.
It shouldn't.
Yeah. And after the year I've had, I really thought that this phase I won't be able to get out of. But I feel like it's fine, it's done. And I think I've only come out stronger. And huge props to this city. The city, like the people here, whoever I met, they really carried me. And they were like, it's going to be fine, and it's fine. And I'm on a set and it's amazing. And I make jokes
About it now. It's
about
that time.
everything.
It's that time of your healing
It's
process.
that time of the healing process.
Prajakta, you also said something that I found very interesting. You said when you are asked to give advice, you always tell, especially women, that don't bring your gender into it. Huh? Don't say to yourself, I can do this or I can't do this
Because I'm a woman.
because I'm a woman. Tell me more about that.
You know, this is, I mean, when you put it like that, it sounds like, kya socha hai? But it genuinely, you know, where this comes from. So I'm the only child, okay? And I've grown up very close to my parents. Like at this point, we're roommates, like it's that. I got engaged and I know that I will be getting married, and I'm excited, but also I'm like, oh, I'm gonna have to go live with a boy, and I won't be able to live with these two anymore, and that's breaking my heart. Like that's how close I am to my parents. They're my closest friends, and I don't say this to sound like
Sure.
but so ना बचपन से ही growing up ना ये कभी conversation ही नहीं था घर पे कि because the one thing was कि okay, I want to be this today, I want to be that today, this I want to do, that I want to do this sport, I want to play that, I want to do, I want to join these classes, that this was constant. So there was never a conversation in my house about how I can or cannot do something because I'm a girl, or how I can or cannot wear something because I'm a girl, how I can or cannot say something because I'm a girl. So I didn't think about it much. Then when I went on to my team, the team that I have right now is the team that I started with almost 9 years ago. And it was exactly that in that circle. There are 4 people who are closest to me, and the conversations never kind of ever reached a point where my gender was a point of discussion. So it took me also a very long time to get to this answer, because every time I was asked, so how does it feel to be a female content creator? I didn't have an answer because I never got up and thought that I am going to be a female content creator today, or I'm going to be a female actor today. Like I never had that conditioning, and I understand the privilege that I come from when I say that my parents had such a huge role in kind of carving that safe space for me to even have the guts to not think about my gender when I'm doing anything. So that is where it comes from. It really doesn't come, I realized it much later in life. I think I was about 27 when I realized, okay, maybe that is why. And that kind of helps us simplify things. And then I started paying attention to how we think as women. And I started realizing that a lot of times after this thought came to me, I used to put that filter on myself before anyone else could do it for me, expecting that it will be put for me when I put myself out there. And that's when I realized that maybe I shouldn't do that. You know, because till 26, 27 तो मैं भी मजे में ही सब कुछ चल रहा था ना, कुछ था ही नहीं. I just started acting. I was 26 when I went on set for the first time as Dimple. तब तक तो it was that, like she said, it was that bubble. It was my team, me, my house, my camera, my laptop. इसके आगे तो कुछ था ही नहीं. And उसके आगे सोचते भी नहीं थे because I used to always feel like किसी को समझ ही नहीं आएगा मैं क्या करती हूँ. You know, how do I discuss this with anyone? Nobody will know what I'm. So I always kept it to myself. Till I actually stepped out and I saw these actors and I saw this world and I started living this twin life which was so different from anything, and it makes you want to question things. It makes you want to sit down and kind of think a little bit more about some things more than other, and that's when I realized that.
Nice.
Yeah, I don't know.
Nice. I'm going to move on to our next section, but before that I have one last question. Who's one director on your wish list?
Sriram Raghavan?
Vasan Bala.
Oh
I
yeah,
feel like
Vasan Bala.
How fun.
मजा आएगा ना. Like I feel like if you, but they have to believe that we can do something in their film. You can say whoever.
No, but why? It is a wish list.
Yeah,
Why
it is.
not?
Putting it out.
I met him once and I really enjoyed his vibe and I really enjoyed everything he said, and we were kind of vibing on the same jokes. So
Yeah, he's quite chill.
yeah,
no?
and I love the work that he's done.
Yeah.
Obviously, so obviously yes.
Yeah.
Vasan Bala.
And Sriram for you.
Sriram Raghavan for sure.
Lovely. Lovely.
Yeah.
Okay, we're now going into the binge list.
Okay.
I'm going to ask you guys, what kind of binging do you do?
Okay.
So are
The
you like
unhealthy kind.
हाँ वही पहला क्वेश्चन वही है कि मतलब कितना होता है? Can you go all night?
जितना हो सकता है.
Really?
Yeah.
That's the only way to watch content.
That's why it's a binge, na. Otherwise, तो you are too disciplined.
Yeah, the shows
Too
are-
civilized
Too
about it.
civilized about it.
हाँ.
But shows are made to binge actually. Even if you look at the format of shows nowadays, they are made to actually, you sit on a Friday night and like basically watch it for 2 nights or maybe
Suddenly
one
it's
night.
Sunday.
And then it's Sunday.
You don't realize.
That's, see, I think that's the only way to watch it.
Yeah.
So how can
Okay, what's the last one you did this for, Prajakta?
Kala Pani and Kunk on Earth.
Yeah.
Full night.
Yeah. But all shows, everything I
Yeah.
watch like that only. I am
Yeah.
never, you know.
I'm having these thoughts in my head of like youth. What an amazing thing.
No.
You just spent 2 nights watching shows.
No, but like I am missing deadlines. I am
Yeah,
missing calls. All important work. Can you believe I watched Vampire Diaries like that? It's a very long show.
It's a very long show. I
It's
watched
many
Vampire
seasons.
Diaries for the first time last year.
Same.
I didn't watch it like growing
Yeah, me
up in
neither.
that era.
हाँ.
Me neither.
But like this, कि पूरी रात कर लो.
I was constantly posting about it to my social media. That what is this? What have you all gotten me into? And
Yeah.
why is Damon like this?
Yeah.
And why is Stefan like this?
Yeah.
What is it?
Were you also very disappointed with the last season?
I am actually disappointed after the 5th season.
Fair enough.
I didn't
got
like.
it,
I was
yeah.
like not gonna watch it. But last show I watched like this was Kora, and I thought I loved that show, and
Me
I
too.
loved the show that they've not basically taken the piss out of Punjabi as a language,
Yeah.
and everybody spoke nice, authentic Punjabi, and even that girl whose fiance died. There was no makeup on her face in the interrogation scene, and I thought that was just so beautiful. And you could see her actual skin texture. It's a very small thing,
Yeah.
but I think as a woman, when you're watching
but
it,
it's very
you
important,
like
yeah.
that. You like that a lot. So Kora you couldn't have watched in a
Yeah,
week.
you can't, yeah.
You have to know who did what.
Yeah.
So yeah, no.
Yeah. All shows, you're right.
All shows have to be the.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's when it's fun.
And if it's a K drama, then you won't work those 10 days.
I have not gone down that rabbit hole
Please
yet.
don't.
Everybody tells me, how have you not watched? And I know I'm going to love it, but I'm working on the book and I'm like, no, let me finish that, because I know if I start my first K-drama, like Crash Landing on You has been on my list. If I start, I know I will not do anything else.
K dramas are a slow burn, and
they're
then
very long,
they're very long. Every episode is 1 hour plus. And then you can't stop watching it, and they're easily sometimes 20 episodes. I started with this show called Something in the Rain.
Yeah, it's on my list.
Former editor of BuzzFeed, Nirali, she suggested.
Oh, she watches a lot of
She
K-drama.
watches all K-dramas.
Yeah.
I think all BuzzFeed watches
That's true.
K-drama.
That's true.
I couldn't stop watching that show, man. I remember that time Zorawa used to ask me, "What are you doing, Bart?" And I'm like, "You have to come watch this show. It's insane." So it was really something.
Now, obviously, as creators, consuming content is part of your job, right? Like, it's just to see what's out there. But because there's so much out there, how do you two decide? How do you curate your own watching?
I get a lot of recommendations from my audience that you have to
Audience.
watch this. Yeah. And I sometimes ask also, what are you watching nowadays? And they tell me. Then I think he does Rohan actually on
Joshi.
Instagram. Rohan
Yes,
Joshi.
yes.
He gives a lot of, like, I think he was the one
Recommendations.
who got me into The Last of Us.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Because I think he posts a lot about it also.
Yeah. He
And-
told me he watches like 3 hours a day.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Him and
yeah.
I binge watched Rings of Power together, and that was a lot of fun. That was the first
Yeah.
time I binge watched a show with someone.
Right.
Yeah.
And we were discussing like theories and all. It was damn fun. I'm actually not watching as much as I'm reading. So that has been a little out of control. And again, same, like I'll get recommendations from my audience.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
So you just put it out there that I'm looking for something to read.
Yeah,
give
tell
me
me
a
what to
suggestion.
watch.
But your friends also tell you, like Srishti Dikshit, who's a very good friend, she'll tell me to watch something. Ki ye dekhna hai, ye dekho. So like we watch that. We all discuss. If you're meeting somebody and if you're especially meeting creative people, what are you watching is usually the third or fourth question.
It's the small talk icebreaker also, na? Like
How
it's a
are you?
nice
What
thing
are you
to know.
watching?
Yeah.
How are you? To koi nahi puchta hai shehar mein.
Yeah.
That's a question you're not supposed to ask. The other day I asked someone, how are you? They're like, what do you mean? So
What?
I'm like, okay. What happened? So
Shut up.
Apparently it's not a question. You ask what are you doing and what are you watching and that's fine. How
I
are you
love
is
it.
too deep a question to ask in this city.
This is a fun insight.
Yeah.
I love it. I didn't know that.
This city also has its own set of issues, okay?
Okay, what's a recent performance on a show that made you jealous?
Sukant Goyal in Kala Pani.
Jealous. I won't say jealous, but like I really enjoyed Jeremy Allen White in The Bear. In the sense, like,
I have to watch The Bear.
if you can like to show that kind of internal and external rage, and that one episode that was just one shot and the way that he killed it, I feel like I haven't watched anything like The Bear this year. This year for me, like the top show has to be The Bear.
Really?
And even Ali Wong in Beast.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
If you're able to do something like that on screen, oh my god. And anything Vamika Gabbi does. Anything she does. Anything. Even in Khufia. I
Even
saw-
her Instagram, I'm jealous
मैं
of.
ऐसे देखती रहती हूँ मैं recently texted her also कि यार क्या हुआ मतलब ऐसे देखती हूँ उनको she's so beautiful and
Yeah.
she acts without fear.
And what a warm person. I met her for the first time the other day. And it's so nice when you have an image of someone and then you meet them and they exceed that and they are nice and they are warm and they're normal.
Yeah.
It feels great.
Yeah.
Is there a recent Indian show that you would have wanted to be a part of?
The anthology love stories, because interesting stories come out of it, and I feel like I would have loved to be a part of anything that addresses the issue of female sexuality or any kind of sexuality. Because I think with the second offering, I think the stories only got deeper and more interesting. So definitely that.
I feel like I'm just obsessed with Kala Pani only.
Yeah, Kala Pani.
Because that is what I
That's
I
a current
finished it like
obsession.
last night.
Yes.
So I'm just obsessed with that.
Guns and Gulab, I feel like that was also very. It was so stylistic.
Yeah.
Like it was very. It was
very
so much-
Sholay.
It was very
Yeah,
style
yeah.
heavy and.
Kala?
Yeah.
Oh, Kala was very beautiful.
Kala was gorgeous.
Oh my god, I cried and cried
Yeah.
and cried watching Kala. Monica, oh my darling.
Monica, oh my
was
darling.
it this year or last
This
year?
year, this year. Monica,
Monica, oh my darling was
Yeah.
so much style. I feel like when
Even Jubilee.
Jubilee was beautiful.
It was beautiful.
जैसे हम तो कुछ भी बोल सकते हैं.
सब.
Do
सब
we
जितने
really
निकले.
fit in there?
We don't know.
We want to. भाई जो भी इस साल वामिका ने किया सब सब करना है.
Ajay, if someone didn't know you, right, and you had to give them a sense of what you do, what would you point them to from your own work?
Oh, that's such a tough question.
Because there's a mix of so much. Like I'll never say ki go check out my YouTube channel. I'll never say that. I'll send them a link to 2 videos.
Yeah.
Yeah. So be like isse shuru karna. Uske baad you can fall down that hole if you like it. But I'll start with that. Like there are a couple of videos that I am myself honestly very proud of. Like I sort of like how I have written this. Like that is I never really watch my content over and over. But there's a couple of videos that I keep going back to. Ki no, every time I feel demotivated or I feel like, what am I doing or how do I break through this, I'll watch a couple of videos on my channel that I am very proud of and that helps me. So I'll send those videos and then I'll ask them, I'll send them one trailer of Mismatched also,
Yeah.
trailer of Jug Jug Ji also, trailer. And then, I think like that only, little show reel we'll make.
Yeah, we love making show reels. आप creators से कुछ भी show reels edit करवा लो, we love doing that. We
Yeah.
edit on the go.
Yeah.
So it's a thing.
We'll make a
What
show
would
reel.
you give?
There is a video I've made of Chandramukhi meeting Paro during the lockdown and then basically not talking about Devdas but the parlor auntie that they shared. That video is my heart. Okay, and that for sure. And then there's a show
You should
I
put a
do.
mummy video also in it.
Mummy video also, but then
Some.
mummy video stopped making this and I was getting roles for 45-year-old. A lot of people didn't know that I'm actually not 45. So that's the reason I actually stopped doing. So these mummy videos I do very like ek kar dete hain because we'll get engagement also and I love doing
and
that.
it's hilarious.
But it's not good. It's not good for casting directors. Then you get stereotyped.
They get confused.
Yeah, they get confused. That there's a show I do, Swipe Ride.
Yeah.
Of course.
Yeah.
They'll
It's
get
a fun one.
They'll get all sense of like who I am
Yeah.
from that show, and I would tell everyone like I've been telling since the last 2 months. Please watch Sukhi. Please watch.
Yeah.
Sukhi. It's going to be on Netflix very soon. Please watch.
Is there a film that's shaped you as actors?
Jab we met.
Oh yeah.
You mean all millennial girls? Shaped me as an actor.
The thing is, I grew up so dependent on films
Yeah, very dependent.
for my only source of inspiration that I cannot pick one. Like you
Chalo,
really
2, 3.
Kaho na pyare. For sure, because I saw what that film did for Amisha Patel and Hrithik Roshan, and my love, my eternal and forever love for Hrithik Roshan aside, just seeing that how 3 hours in a theatre can change someone's life, the
Absolutely.
possibility
Yeah.
of how you can go from 0 to 100 like that if your story works, was very exciting for me. Speaking of Amisha Patel, I think Amisha Patel in the first Gadar has stayed with me. So many films, yeah, I get a lot of flack for this, but I love Viva. I love it.
Everyone loves it.
They do, right?
Yeah,
Why do I
yeah.
get so much
Everyone
shit
secretly
for
loves
it?
it,
Everybody's
right?
just like, Viva.
They're like.
I'm like, I love it. Viva, Jab We Met, हम साथ साथ हैं, हम आपके हैं कौन, all सूरज बरजातिया films, अंदाज अपना अपना, हम आपके हैं, हम दिल, हम है राही प्यार के, what is the Pooja Bhatt and Amir Khan?
दिल है कि
दिल है कि
मानता
मानता
नहीं.
नहीं, लगान, जोधा अकबर.
Everything.
Everything I've watched, like you come back, like I've said this before, कि जब मुझे डांट पड़ती थी ना बचपन में और आंखों में आंसू आ जाते थे, तो I used to run to the mirror कि आंसू वेस्ट नहीं होने चाहिए, and I would do a scene, because I was like, I don't know how to cry on cue, but since I'm already crying, I might as well use it for a scene. So I used to rehearse all these scenes from different movies. So I really can't pick which one has shaped it. The whole industry as a whole, doing all kinds of movies, good, bad, ugly. Hera Fairy.
That's right. Yeah. Yeah.
Awara Pagal Deewana.
Everything, yeah. Like, if you just talk about 90s alone, Hum Aapke Hain Kaun was the first film I saw. Obviously, it shaped me as a person.
Yeah.
Obviously, joote do paise lo. Like for
Yeah,
life.
yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, obviously, kuch hota hai. And usi time,
Kabhi
around
Khushi
that
Kabhi
time,
Gum.
Rangila and Bandit Queen also came. वो भी देखी है हमने.
Yeah.
We've secretly watched Kama Sutra on our
Monsoon
Meera
Wedding.
Nayar's.
Meera Nayar's
Yes.
Kama Sutra, and because it came on ZTV one day, and
Really?
the entire school knew about it because we all went and watched it, and our parents didn't know about it, or maybe they knew and they were just
This is
letting
the
us.
height of subversion.
Yes, and I'm just saying that we've watched it. Hum Dil De Chuke Sanam, Devdas,
Monsoon
Devdas
Wedding.
Andar, like Monsoon Wedding, and if I just speak more about, let's say a little more recent money, last 10 years, there were films like Dhobi Ghat and Ship of Theseus,
Yeah.
which I've actually watched that film in a theatre. So like people have gone and watched that. Like I remember the Love Stories anthology from Bombay Talkies.
Right?
And it had such interesting stories.
Yeah.
I
Even
remember-
Metro. Life in a Metro.
Life in a Metro. And then Gangs of Wasseypur. What do I like? There's everything. And
You can't pick.
how do you like These films we are a very emotional generation.
Yeah.
Like when we talk about Tamasha, we don't talk about Tamasha as a film, we talk about it as an emotion.
As an
We
experience.
remember the Ranbir and Deepika scene.
Yeah.
I can't even begin to tell you how that scene has impacted my friends in Delhi and all the people I know. They're crazy about that scene.
Yeah.
So obviously
Like as recent as Rocky Rani, that one scene where Ranveer breaks down and he talks about कि ये करो तो गलत है, वो करो तो गलत है, was written and worded so impactfully that I came back thinking that finally someone said it.
Yeah.
You know, so it's just everything that we've watched, I think.
Yeah, Chak De India, anything Vishal Bhardwaj has ever made. Like we would, I was sitting with my friends the other day and we were watching Maqbool. We were actually watching,
fantastic.
that song Roll In Day. And all of us started crying. Like I was sitting with creative people and all of us were just looking at it and just crying. So like these are films that speak to us on a different level. Omkara.
Omkara.
I'm sure I'm missing like 1,500
Hundreds,
films.
yeah,
but
true.
I don't think one has shaped. I think everything. Queen, you know, everything has shaped you because it spoke to you on a level. We are a Bollywood obsessed.
Yeah, Band Baja Bharat.
Band Baja. We'll just keep taking names.
This can keep going on. But did anyone who you've shot with before actually have like one film?
It's hard.
Right?
Yeah.
Do
It's
you
very
have
hard.
a film?
Well, for me, it's Sholay.
Okay.
Yeah.
You know, it's the sort of the great definer
course,
of my life, and,
Yeah.
and it's a film I adore and keep going back to. But yeah, you can't, and you know, it also changes with who you are at that point in time.
Yeah.
Whom
Right.
do you talk to also like?
And what is, you know, you might respond completely differently.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, like you talked about Tamasha. Now, when I first saw that, it didn't hit me at all in the way that it hit
later.
a whole
Yeah.
much younger generation. But when I saw it again, I saw what Imtiaz is trying to do, and how so much of it is at, for that point very quite new.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
just the way it addressed so much,
Yeah.
and the performances, of course, and God, how beautiful are both of them.
Yeah,
But
And we know the trope also. We know like how his
Absolutely.
actors are always like maybe finding themselves through a woman. But it's like a film you love to hate it, hate to love it. It's at the end of the day, it evokes an emotion in you, right?
Bilkul.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
it stirs.
I'll send you a reel where this Anas, he makes these videos, Muhammad Anas. He basically talks about how like anytime you talk about Tamasha, आपने तमाशा नहीं देखी? मैं आपको बताता हूँ तमाशा क्या है. And he just talks about कि तमाशा में जब रणबीर ऐसे गया था और उसने वहाँ गया तो उसका symbolic मतलब ये था और ये था. It is the funniest thing ever. Like millennials will do anything to defend Tamasha. But also old films, है सिलसिला, मासूम, पड़ोसन, सब देखा हुआ है. खूबसूरत, पुरानी वाली खूबसूरत, नई वाली खूबसूरत, सब है. You know, is everything.
How lovely.
Nayi wali khoobsurat mein I was jealous properly. When I saw Sonam Kapoor, I was like jealous. I was like, but obviously I was not even in the realm of possibility with the movie that it is. But when I see it now, I just feel like I wish I could do that. Like I really wish I could.
How lovely.
Yeah.
How lovely. Okay, last segment. Now you have to pick up these one by one.
Okay.
Okay, and then just like tell me what was going on, because this is all from your
very
social
embarrassing
media.
shit.
Ladies, what is happening?
Very, very, very proud of it.
It's very cute, but what was happening?
The caption is Mummy ji ke star boy.
Oh shit! This was the first time Kusha and I worked together.
Yeah.
Was it also the first time we met?
I think yes, it was the first time we met.
It was the first time we met. We were shooting for Netflix's YouTube
The Ensplaining.
Explaining.
Actually, you can watch that show to also get a sense of who we are.
Yeah, of course I've seen it.
That was a fun.
Yeah.
Oh God.
I don't know. I think we look great. I think
We make
it's
good-looking
beautiful.
boys.
We do make good-looking boys, and I think I love your sideburns.
Oh Lord.
And I'm looking freakishly similar to somebody. So yeah, but
we're not
yeah.
saying it?
Yeah, no, we're not
Okay.
saying it. Okay.
Okay, Kusha, that's you on the can red carpet.
Yes.
Ooh, this was this year, no?
Yeah, I'm wearing Rahul Mishra, and obviously I'm
wow.
really excited. I actually watched the show The Idol which was one of the worst shows I've seen this year actually. And I knew it was terrible from that, like when I'd watched the first 2 episodes, because it was very uncomfortable watching as a woman.
Yeah.
Because I feel like the male gaze is just too strong on that show. And I remember because there was a bit of a discussion on what do influencers are really, what are they really doing at Cannes, right?
Yeah,
like that was a huge thing, and there were so
Absolutely.
many think pieces that came out of it, and it gave me a lot also to think about it. Where is this coming from? But on this day, I did go and attend a screening.
You look gorgeous.
And it was, I remember it was insane. Like just the scale of that hall, and the fact that the cast was there. Lily and Abel and all of these people were there, and you can watch them actually there, and they're on the screen also. And that screen is massive. Everyone's like dressed to the T. It's the night I'm never going to forget. That doesn't matter that the show was really trash. And now I can say it's trash because it's cancelled.
Oh, is
Initially
it?
you hold back a little bit, but I remember somebody had asked me in the comments that time, what do you think about The Idol? And I said, the male gaze is too high. And although like Lily has given her everything, and she's really given her everything in that show, so you feel even worse for a female actor who has given her body, soul, mind to this show. And look at what they've literally, the show they were trying to make and maybe like do a commentary on, which was like obviously Britney, it suffers from the same problem. They've ended up doing the same thing that they were trying to represent, which was kind of sad. Sorry, you asked me about something and I've said something really different.
That's you.
Oh yeah, this is me sitting down with some of the most exciting, not exciting is the wrong word, most inspiring activists, climate change activists from around the world. So there's Aisha, who's from Pakistan, Greta's here, there's Helena, who's from the Amazonian Ecuador, and see, again my memory is failing me.
But you've named 3, so it counts.
Yeah, I've
and you've named Greta.
Yeah, I've named Greta, she's there.
Greta wins.
This was in Davos. I had gone there for the World Economic Forum, and I remember it was a very hush-hush conversation that I got through there. Prajakta, what are you doing on? So the Sunday, I think the event wrapped, and what happens during the World Economic Forum is the whole city is made the forum. Like it's emptied, all houses. Like there are no locals who stay there. Everything becomes a goal's house, or this house, or that house, or it's everything like that. And so the whole city is different. It's just people who've come for the conference. And Sunday, I think everybody left. I was staying back 3-4 days more because I was writing, and YouTube was like, hey, do you want to shoot a video, Greta? And I was like, yeah, for sure. And this was just a roundtable thing that we sat down and spoke about. In all honesty, I shot this video, and I really wish I could have made it a little more relatable. So that is why I didn't upload it, because I kind of didn't relate to, or I didn't feel like there's anything that I learnt beyond what we already knew about the whole climate change conversation. So I didn't upload that video, but it's still a very, it's a fun picture though.
It is.
Yeah.
It is. And what a lovely,
It was,
it's a
yeah.
proud moment.
It was, I loved sitting down, and can I just say this, and you can, if it goes over time, you can remove it. But I remember asking all of them, what is the one thing you'll tell to young people right now if they want to start their journey on working towards climate action? Aisha, who's from Pakistan, she said, she's like, just go out and plant a tree. When you see that you don't have the water to give to that tree, and the tree doesn't live, or the sun is killing your tree no matter how much love you give it, just plant one tree. You have to make that physical relationship to the earth outside your house, otherwise you'll not feel for the planet. And I think that was beautiful advice.
That's a lovely
Yeah,
advice.
yeah, that is lovely.
Yeah.
Kusha?
Best collab ever.
Who's
Who
this?
gets to collab with Pankaj
Oh my
Tripathi?
God.
He's so fab.
Love.
मैं इनके लिए स्क्रिप्ट लिख के गई थी, और स्क्रिप्ट सामने टेलीप्रॉम्प्टर पे थी, और हम with these big, this was Netflix, and with these big collabs ना, we work very hard. हम बहुत excited हो जाते हैं, हमारी टीम को हम बहुत freak out करते हैं, खुद freak out होते हैं. I wrote this script for him, and I was playing this character called Ma Vokanand.
I've seen this.
Which I stopped. I don't do this character anymore. But इन्होंने स्क्रिप्ट देखी, इन्होंने इतना इम्प्रूव किया मेरे साथ. And he started calling me Voka. Voka कैसी हो तुम? Because मैं इनकी वो बनी थी disciple. And he was just so good. We shot in one go. Everybody was laughing behind camera. Netflix people were very happy. It was my one of the first independent collabs after I'd left my job at IDEA. he's something else.
This is after Sacred Games, no?
Yeah, and I met him again on the sets of Kes To Banta Hai. I said, "Sir, ek reel bana lijiye, sir," and he was just so cool with it.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
that reel worked very well for us also.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's what I
That's
feel.
you, Prajakta?
That is me with Vidya. This was after Niyat earlier this year. Yeah, in July. And we were doing promotions. This is one of those moments where I've been a huge fan of Vidya Balan for a very, very long time. And I remember when Anu had reached out, Anu's team had reached out saying, Anu wants to do a call with you about this film that they're making. And then she said, Vidya Balan's in it. For me, at that point, I didn't say it to her because then that would just but at that point I looked at Sudeep, I said, I don't care if I'm a fly on the wall for this. If I'm going there for 3 days of shoot, I'm in. I'm doing this. I just want to be on a set with Vidya Balan.
Yeah.
And then when I read the script, I had a whole scene with her, which was huge. And I remember in this moment, we were promoting Niyat. We were in the Abundancia office in Andheri. And I'm so happy that Ari, who's my photographer, clicked this because we were rehearsing and I was having one of those, one of those moments that you have sometimes when you're driving alone and like one tear will come. Then how is this my life? Like, when did it get here? And why didn't I like kind of take more time to process this? Because sometimes it just hits you, and it was one of those. So it was an outtake picture, but I uploaded it, and it was मतलब ऐसे बीच में ये click हो गई थी कि ये नहीं करनी थी. उसके बाद हमने इसमें देख के वगैरह post करा था. But I uploaded this because it was that moment where I looked at it and said, how am I promoting a film that I've done with Vidya Balan, promoting it with Vidya Balan, and she's right there, and she knows my name and everything. So,
How lovely. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
It was such fun.
Thank you.
And I've learned Delulu is not the
Sululu.
I love it. I just love it. I feel cooler already. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having us.
I can't sustain all the money I make.
Yeah.
As an actor.
Through all the fiction projects.
Yeah.
I mean, I of course I can survive, but I will not be hitting my targets. I will not be able to pay salaries. So that's there for sure.
Yeah.
She's right there.
Yeah.
We actually take huge pay cuts because there is, I mean, I don't know about we, but I take huge pay cuts for like, let's do a fiction project because there's only so much money there.
Yeah.
Which is the reason she's right. There's always something to
fall back on.
This career I'm never going to let go of. You know, there is always that question, now creator, actor, and I'm like, no, both.
Exactly.
Because actors are also making reels.
Yeah, and we're in a position where we don't need to choose anymore.
Yeah.
You don't have to be कि अच्छा ये छोड़ना पड़ेगा because अभी full time acting क्यों भैया नहीं दोनों कर सकते हैं.
Absolutely.
Yeah.